feel like people just be spending their money foolishly, and that's why they're always broke, because they just don't know how to be financially disciplined. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for clicking this video. Thank you for tuning in to another video by me. Thank you. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Nadia. I don't know if I mentioned that in the last video, but yes, my name is Nadia. And if you haven't watched my last video, definitely need to get to that. But yes, this video is really going to be pretty simple, but I think it will be very helpful to a lot of people that might not know how to make goals, or like just don't know how to achieve their goals. I'm going to be talking about what has been able to help me, why I even do what I do, and stuff like that. So let's get straight into the video. I also have a list here, so I'm going to be looking at my list most of the time. But I really don't want this video to be long. I really just want it to be explanatory on like what I do to help me on a daily basis, like what helps me on a daily basis, so I know that I'm, going towards my goals, and basically every single day doing one step that will get me closer to reaching my goals. I always tell people, if you didn't do anything today, do one thing that's going to help you get one step closer to finishing your goals. So yeah, so the first thing I want to talk about is basically the difference between goals and dreams, because I think a lot of people have that, I'm not going to say confused, but I'm just going to tell you what I think it is. And, maybe that will change your perspective on what you think it is. So growing up, I had everything that I needed. But when I lived with my mom in middle school, we lived in the ghetto. So, I'm not ashamed to say that. We lived in the ghetto. When I was in elementary school, I lived with my mom and my dad. And I would definitely say where I lived was a lot better when I was in elementary school. But then when I lived with my mom and my dad moved to Colorado, we was living in the ghetto, okay? So I feel like my mind and my perspective changed a lot when it came to like what I wanted to be, or like what I thought I could achieve in life. And I think that's just because when you're living around other people that doesn't necessarily like live the life that they want to live, like they're just trying to survive, that's kind of the mindset that you have, and that's just basically what you're thinking about. You're not necessarily thinking about the goals that you want to achieve and the dreams that you want to achieve, but really just how to survive on a day-to-day basis. And that really hinders people's success, because they don't think they don't think they can achieve anything. And they don't even think that they can achieve any of their goals or anything. Like they don't even like have dreams, because they just never think that they're going to get out of the living circumstances that they're in. And so what I would say to dreams and goals is that you basically decide what your dreams and goals are, right? Well, that's kind of like an obvious, but a lot of people don't know that they can achieve their dreams and goals. Like they can do anything that they put their mind to. And I feel like that phrase gets misused, because a lot of people don't think that. A lot of people might say like, oh, okay, I'm going to open up my own business, or I'm going to start selling clothes, but they don't really actually think that they can do that. They're just saying that because they want to do it, but they don't think they can. So I'm just really going to share with you guys what made me have a lot more belief in myself that I can accomplish anything that I put my mind to. So yeah, I would just say like with goals and dreams, it's just like anything that you think you can accomplish. If you think you can accomplish that thing, then that could be your dream or that could be your goal. But just knowing that you can accomplish it just makes it 10 times more achievable, because you think that you can actually do it. Not just because you write it on a piece of paper, not just because your friends told you you're good at it, but if you think you can actually achieve it, then you can, okay? So the next thing that I want to talk about is how I started to think the way I do, because when you are coming from low income family or living check to check, your mind is like not even thinking about anything else, like I said before. And what helped me with my thinking and what helped me change my thinking and started thinking things at like a different perspective was when I joined Forex. So I don't know if you guys know, but I was in Forex for, how long was I in Forex? I was in Forex for, I think, definitely over a year. I started it at the end of my senior year in high school, and I stopped last year in like July, right? Yeah, I was like in July. So I was in it like over a year. And what helped me change my mindset is seeing other people actually accomplish their goals, right? And so when I was in Forex, I was able to travel a lot, and I was able to surround myself with people that had a lot of money. And so when I was able to see, like, I was able to see that people can buy designer, people can have a lot of money, people can have nice houses, have nice cars. When I was able to actually go into those places and actually see those people and actually talk to them, that's what actually helped me change my perspective on money and just like achieving things in general. And even if you don't have access to that, I highly encourage people to just drive around in rich neighborhoods. I used to do that a lot before I was even in Forex. When I was living in Colorado, I would just drive around, or even when I was just in Alaska, I would just go drive around rich neighborhoods and nice places just so I can see it constantly. Because when you can see something, then that really pushes your faith and that really pushes your belief system and helps you to say like, okay, you know, if they can do it, I can do it too. Even if you don't know the person, even if you've never spoke to them, just seeing those things helps you. And one thing that I did too when I was in Forex was when I was in California, the people that I was with, we actually went to really nice car dealerships. Like we just took a day. We went to the Mercedes dealership. We went to Rolls Royce dealership. We went to the Ferrari dealership. I think the Rolls Royce and Ferrari dealership is one, but we just went to like all these really nice dealerships, and we literally just went and looked at the cars. We went and sat in the cars. We were just like, this is what, you know, this is what I want to have one day. So we just went and we just looked at all these nice cars, and that really helped me too, because I'm like, you know, I never knew like this is what these cars look like in like with my own eyes. You can see stuff online and stuff like that, but when you just see it in person, it just changes your perspective. It just changes how you think. Like it literally just changes how you think, because you're like, oh my goodness, like I can do this. Even if you don't know how, like just seeing it changes your perspective on what you think you can do, really. So I would just say definitely go see things in person. Like if you're in a state that has a Mercedes-Benz dealership, you can go see some Rolls Royces and Maseratis and Aston Martins, and what's another one? What is that one car that I really like? This one car is so nice. What is it called? Oh my goodness, I don't remember what it's called, but it will come to me. But if you are living in a state that has those dealerships, it costs $0 to go look at cars. Like it is free, baby. Like if you, I don't know why people like think that they can't go do these things, but you definitely can, because it don't cost no money. You can go look at these cars, go test drive these cars. The only reason why I think we didn't test drive is because I think they pull your credit, and I know a lot of us didn't have credit at the time, and two, it was just time consuming because we were just trying to hit all the car dealerships in one day. So moral of the story is, if you want a certain this or that, go see them. Because I even know when I was in California a couple months ago, me and my auntie went to I don't even know the name. I'm so bad at names, but basically to where all the designer stores are in California. I think it's somewhere near Hollywood or something like that. But we went there and we just walked around, looked around. Like it don't cost no money to go into these stores. I mean, of course, don't buy nothing. I mean, that's your choice, right? But if you want that in the future, I definitely recommend going to those places and just seeing them, because it helps you like tremendously. It helps your vision, it helps your perspective, it helps your imagination. It just like helps everything. Okay, so that is definitely something that I recommend. And another thing that I've been doing for a while, ever since I moved to Colorado, is I changed my morning routine tremendously. When I was in Alaska, I didn't really have a morning routine. I was just waking up, getting ready, and going to work. But now that I'm in Colorado, I was like, I have to have a better morning routine and night routine for myself, just because it helps me like stay focused. It helps me stay grounded. It helps me stay consistent. Like, it just, being consistent in anything is challenging. So if I can do something, even as little as doing a morning routine every single day, that will help me be consistent in something, which will then help me be consistent in something else that I want to do. So being consistent, and it's just helped me with discipline. It helps me a lot with discipline, and having financial goals, which I'm going to talk about at the end, is very important. So my morning routine consists of, when I wake up, I do my prayer and I do my devotion. So I'll read my devotion and then I pray. And then after I do that, then I write down things that I'm grateful for. So I actually have like this, I'm going to insert at the end, but I got this thing from, I think it was it was like TJ Maxx when I was in Florida. And it's like this, basically it came in this little box, and like there's papers in it. All the papers are the same, but there's 3 questions on the paper. One says what you're grateful for. 2 is like your prayers list, like what you like basically what you're praying for, things that you need prayer for. And the 3rd one is like things that you need to work on. So I usually just fill out that paper every single day after I do my devotion and after I do my prayer. And that helps me too, because I know another thing that I've learned is like writing down things that you're grateful for just reminds you like of what you have. Because you know, a lot of people are depressed, a lot of people are not motivated, but when you write down what you're grateful for, it makes you realize, like, look at all this stuff that God has been able to give me. You know, I might be complaining about this, I might be sad about this, but look at what I have now. Like, that really helps you stay positive, especially in the morning, because it sets your mood for the day. After I get done doing all that, so after I get done reading my devotion, doing my prayer, writing down my gratefuls for the day, then after that, that's when I get ready. And usually when I get ready, I listen to a motivational video. And lately I've been really into Steve Harvey. I know he kind of says like the same thing, but it's just like what he says. Like, I've watched so many motivational videos and they're pretty much all the same thing, because it's just like all the same people that they're putting in these motivational videos, which is usually like Oprah, Michelle Obama, Steve Harvey, Denzel Washington. Like, it's usually just like one of those people, or it's even like, you know, it's other people too, but that's really what I've been listening to lately, is Steve Harvey, just because he just makes you think. Like, it just changes your perspective in the morning and makes, like, it forces me to think positive. And when I do my morning routine, it's just like I'm walking into my day on a positive note. You know, sometimes when you wake up and you're just like automatically just mad. Like, I wake up sometimes just automatically mad, but then when I do my morning routine, I'm like, okay, there's like no reason for me to be upset. There's no reason why I need to be mad. There's no reason why I need to feel down, because one, I wrote down everything that I'm grateful for, and I'm tremendously, you know, grateful for everything that I have. So, you know, if I'm so grateful that God has given me all this stuff, why leave room for any negativity? You know what I mean? So doing my morning routine is like, I would say, is very, very important to me, just because it helps me walk into the day on a positive note. And then if you watch my other videos, you know that I listen to Christian music when I'm in the car, or gospel music, you know what I mean? So after I get ready for the day, then I leave, I go to work, and I listen to gospel music, Christian music, and I just have to throw this in. I've been listening to Maverick City music a lot, and tomorrow I'm actually going to their concert because it's in Denver. They're on tour, so I just had to say that. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, I've been really listening to gospel music or Christian music. And one thing that I will say is, like, even if I'm not listening to gospel music or Christian music, I'm listening to stuff that doesn't fill my mind with negativity, like with drugs and cuss words and stuff like that. I try to fill my mind, and like what I'm listening to is very important to me. So I try to fill my mind with as much positivity as possible. So I really like to listen to like a lot of old school music, you know, like love and stuff like that, because it's not negative, you know what I mean? And I'm really like a sound person, so I can get carried away with what they're saying in the songs if the sound is like good to me. So I always have to check myself and make sure that I'm listening to stuff that fills my mind with positive things. So yeah, I've been really into just gospel music, Christian music, R&B. That's just really my two genres that I've been rocking these days. So yeah, just, you know, I've been just really, because I don't know how to explain it, but it's like so true. What you put in your mind comes out, and even what you put in your body comes out. So if you're constantly listening to negativity, things about drugs, things about cuss words, you're going to start to say those things and you're going to start to do those things. So I'm a firm believer in whatever you put inside your body is what's going to come out. And so that is the reason why I choose to listen to certain things, because I know that when I listen to this or when I do this, then a whole different thing is going to come out. So, and that's another reason why when it comes to food, I don't eat red meat. So right now I only eat chicken and fish, but I'm trying to stop eating chicken. So I'm trying to just go full pescatarian so then I could just eat fish. And it's really easy for me to do that because my whole family already only eats fish. Me and my uncle are the only ones that eat chicken. So just cutting out chicken should be really easy for me. But that is what I wanted to say for music and stuff like that in my morning routine. And another thing too that has really changed just like how I look at my goals is writing them down. So when I first got to Colorado, I wrote everything that I wanted to accomplish down, or I like typed it up on my computer. So for example, I have two like financial goals that I really want to accomplish. One is buying a car in full, and two is saving up $20,000 so that I can move out of the state and so that I can have a down payment on the house that I want to buy. So in order to do that, I have to save a certain amount every single month, and I have to stick to that. So that's what I've been doing, and I've been doing really good with that. So, you know, just writing that down, like I have to write that down first so that I know, like, okay, this is what I want to do, and how am I going to do it? This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to save this, you know, this certain amount every single month. So those are just like two examples of like, you know, the what and the how, because yes, you can write down all these things, but you also need to know how even if you don't know how you're going to do it, I still recommend writing down what you want to accomplish, because your how is eventually going to come. I will say that your how is definitely eventually going to come, because when I first got here, I didn't have a job, but I knew that if I wrote down these things, it will give me a constant reminder to, you know, work towards the how. And even to another thing that they used to tell me in Forex was, I don't know how to like I don't know how to say it, but basically it's just like write down your goals, and even if you don't know how you're going to accomplish stuff, still say it as if like you already have it, you know what I mean? And that will help unlock your imagination, and your imagination will eventually tell you how you're going to do it. I hope that made sense. So when it came to let me just give a different example of a goal. So I had a goal, like one of my goals is to open up my own vending machine business. So I don't really know how I'm going to do it. I just know that's just one of the goals I want to achieve. And so the reason why I want to achieve it is because in high school, if you knew me, I used to sell chips, because my dad used to work for the Frito-Lay company, so he would just bring home chips. And so my dad would tell me, you know, take these to school and sell them. And then my dad told me to, he was like, you need to open up a vending machine, like buy a vending machine and start just putting the chips in there and start selling other stuff. But I just never did that. So that's really, you know, why I'm going to do it, is because not only because like my dad told me, but I just have like a whole different vision of what I'm going to do for the vending machines, and it's not going to have anything to do with chips. But I just know that that's something that I want to accomplish. But I had all these goals down that required money, but I had no job. So it's like God is going to give you things, and he's going to tell you things. But in order for and to get done, you have to like combine the two, you know what I mean? The stuff that God tells you and the stuff that God gives you, you need to combine that with the goals that you want to achieve, because that's the only way you're going to be able to achieve them, you know what I mean? So for my vending machine business, he started to tell me, okay, this is the kind of things you should do. This is how you're going to get it. It didn't just come right when I wrote it down. So that's why they say, like, you know, when you have goals, it's important to say them every single day too, because that will unlock your imagination on giving you more ideas on like how you can accomplish that. So I hope that made sense. If not, definitely watch Steve Harvey motivational videos, because I learned a lot of like how to accomplish my goals through like what he says in motivational videos. But yeah, I wrote down like just a whole list of things that I wanted to accomplish, and I have so part of my morning routine is actually my affirmations and reading my goals out loud. So after I do my devotion and my prayer, I actually read my goal cards, and they're just like a list of my goals and just things that I want to accomplish, and I say them. And then after that, I say my affirmations. And when you say something every single day, I don't know what it is, but when God listens to you say something every single day, it's like, you know, people say it's like you're putting it into the universe. But I'm like, I just have different beliefs on stuff like that. So I just say, when God hears you say something every single day, it's, you know, he's working behind the scenes, you know what I mean? So whatever you believe in that, but I definitely think that saying your goals every single day is important, and having vision boards. I recently just made my vision board a couple weeks ago, and my vision board is just everything that I want to be. So if I were to, you know, pass away, basically my legacy, what do I want people to know me as? And that's what I put on my vision board. And then I'm going to have another vision board of my goals. So it's basically the same thing, but what I put on my goals vision board is going to be very specific. And that's another thing. You have to be very specific when it comes to your goals. Like another thing, the reason why I want to make my goals one is so that I can have, I'm probably going to have like pictures and stuff of like specific things that I want. So the kind of car that I want, what color I want it to be, what color I want it to be in the inside, what model, what make, stuff like that. Like you want it to be as specific as possible. And the reason why I did my first vision board the way I did it is because when I see it every single day, it's like giving me a reminder, and it's pushing me like, okay, this is who you want to be known as. So you have to do these little things every single day to make sure that you are, you know, headed towards your goals that you want to accomplish. So having a vision board is very important too. And then I really just want to speak on financial goals really quick, just because coming from a family that I would say that grew up with little money, they didn't know how to keep money. So my family, you know, just really worked and lived paycheck to paycheck. And I have learned just through different things, through my auntie that I live with now. She has definitely been able to help me, but you have to figure out what works for you too, because what works for you doesn't work for everybody else. I'm just going to tell you guys what works for me. I have to literally plan out what I do with my money. And another thing that's been helping me too is writing down how much I spend every day. So writing down what I spend every single day, it makes you realize that you spend too much money. One, that's why I feel like it's good. And it makes you track how much you're spending every single day. And so I have like basically a financial planner for that. And then I plan out what I do with my money. So the number one thing that I do when I get paid is I tithe. So I tithe 10%, and then after that, I basically portion it into like what's going to go into my savings and what I need to spend for this, you know, amount of time until my next paycheck, pretty much. So the way I have it divided is so that I'm making sure I'm staying disciplined, so I'm not just having money in my account so then I can just spend however much I want to spend on a day-to-day basis. I have money in my account that I know I will need. Like, for example, is it gas? Is it groceries? I'm going to literally write down, okay, what do I need from the grocery store? I need this, and this. Okay, I'll literally even look up how much this and cost, so I know how much to put in my account for that. For gas, I'm like, okay, I already know how much it is to fill up my tank. That's how much I'm gonna put in my account, so I'm using that much. Like, I'm not just putting money in my account and just like swiping my card. Like, I'm literally making sure the money that's in my account is for this, and this. Like, that's literally how I split up my checks. And that's been able to help me because it forces me to stay disciplined with my money. So I'm not just spending when I want to spend, but I'm spending what I need to be spending on. I hope that made sense. I hope that made sense. So that's been able to help me tremendously. And when you see your savings account, I don't want to just say savings account, but that's like my goals account. That's the account that I'm trying to build so that I can accomplish my goals. When you see that go up every single month, that forces you to like want to keep going, because you're like, okay, this is how much I've been able to save. I just want to keep going. And another thing that I've been doing too since I moved to Alaska is every single time I get money, I track how much money I have. So like in my phone, on my notes tab, I have basically dates of like how much money in full that I've had. So I always know how much money I have, period. Not just based off of what's in my account, but like everything. Because the way I save is I take money out. I like to save in cash because if it stays in my account, I'm gonna spend it. I just know myself, and I know that if I have money in my account, it's going to be spent. So it's easier for me to take out cash and just put it in my cash like envelope, my cash pouch, and that's my savings. So that's like, I don't spend cash. So like, I'm never gonna go get it because I'm not gonna like, I just don't spend cash. I usually use my money, like I usually just use my card most of the time. I don't ever use cash. So that's what works for me, is taking money out and saving cash instead of just putting it in my savings account. So what was I saying with that though? That's just really what works for me in terms of like what helps me financially and what helps me to save money and be disciplined with my money. And I recommend everyone get a financial planner because it really will open your eyes up to how much money you're spending. And when it comes to that, what I talked about in my notes tab, that helps me keep track of how much money I have. That's the reason why I do that. So I will know how much money I had in January. I know how much money I had in February. And if that number is like less or more, then I'm like, well, what did I do in January? Like, why did I spend that much money in January? Like, I'll know because I'll have my financial planner that will tell me this is how much, this is the money I was spending on whatever. So that definitely helps me stay financially grounded and just stay financially disciplined when it comes to my goals, because people just think like, I don't know, they just think like, oh, I want to buy a car, oh, I want to buy this and this, but they don't even have they don't have a goal. They don't even know how they're going to do it. They just are like, okay, I want to do this, but I'm not going to save no money. Well, that's never going to happen because you're never going to have the money to do that. And another thing that I think a lot of people got confused is that you can't save, or you can't get rich, or you can't be financially stable with just like, I'm not going to say one source of income, because I always think you should have definitely more than one source of income, because what if you just lose that one source and you always need another source? But what I'm saying is like, you can become wealthy, not having, basically. You can definitely become financially stable without having much. It's really just about being financially disciplined. Like, you don't need to be going out to eat every single day. You don't need to be going to lunch every single day. You don't need to be going out every weekend. You don't need to be going on 1,000 trips that you can't afford, stuff like that. And I feel like people just be spending their money foolishly, and that's why they're always broke, because they just don't know how to be financially disciplined. So that is really what I wanted to talk about. I'm sorry that this video is long. I feel like my videos are always long, even though I try to keep them short, but I just feel like everything that I say is necessary and is needed, you know what I mean? But thank you so much for listening to my video. I hope I taught you something just about goals in general.